Today we have two great guests that are going to be with us. Chef Jerrmy Gawthrop is here. He's going to do a great dish, man. We're also going to sit down and eat that dish with Clayton Suttle. These guys own the Greenhouse Grill, and they also own Woodstone Craft Pizza, two great Fayetteville establishments. Let me tell you something. These guys are farm-to-table royalty. They have been doing it since the very beginning. I can't wait to let you guys meet them. We're gonna have a great dish, so you guys come on, let's go.
This is a story about food. The farmers who grow it, the homegrown recipes, the traditions, the celebrations, the way we love it. The way we bring them all together, that's how we cook this.
My name is Jerrmy Gawthrop, and I'm chef and co-owner of Greenhouse Grill and Woodstone Craft Pizza. Not only are we trying to support local farms and put a fresh, local produced item on the plate, but we want it to be plated beautifully and taste good and be at a reasonable price point. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's just about making the customer happy and doing the best we can and letting our passion be presented on the plate.
Chef, how you doing, brother?
I'm so good.
Good to see you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, very welcome.
Man, I love getting to come into kitchens, man. You know, Greenhouse, you guys have been doing your thing for a long time. You've been in business for a long time here. And you know, with what we're doing, what you do is exactly the same thing. You're a pioneer in farm to table, the seed to the fork, and really proud to get to show people what you do, man. So I want to really get into this dish. Tell me what we're doing here today.
Well, excellent, yes. So we're going to have 7 different ingredients from 7 different farms.
Yeah, I was going to say this. Yeah. This is all of it, right?
That's
salt
pretty
and pepper,
much it.
I think.
Well, salt and pepper. That'll be our 7th ingredient.
That's all of it, though.
So this is going to be it. Yeah. So to give you a little tour of the farms here. So the squash here is from Dickey Farms in Tontitown. Great producers. You can go out there and get your pumpkins.
Great folks.
Huge patch. Great folks. Been doing it for a long time. This kale here is from Dripping Springs out in Huntsville.
Yes.
Mark's out there just growing it up. Beautiful flowers. You go to the farm and it's like Holland. Just rows these beautiful flowers and then vegetables. It's just absolutely gorgeous.
I love it.
And right here we have some Fromage Blanc that's been mixed in with some chives and some garlic. And they're a local farm out of Elkins. Which is they do
White River
goat
Creamery,
cheese and which I think you guys are going to get to, and they've got baby goats out there, and they're making this artisan cheese, and they're the only one in the state doing it. So it's pretty spectacular.
Really cool.
So happy to have them real close to us.
Really cool.
And then we get over here into the pork land, and we have 2 different spotlights here. The pork belly on this side, which we've turned into some slab bacon, is from Grassroots Cooperative, and they're kind of a river valley cooperative of all these different farms. They come under the veil of Grassroots, and Grassroots distributes them. So you have chicken and beef and duck and pork, and they come together, and they just got amazing products. It's all through the River Valley.
Awesome.
And then this pork chop right here is from locally from Fayetteville, from DH Farms. Okay. And they're a family farm. They work with the farmers market here. And again, way-fed pigs, which is just as good as it gets to have this way-fed pigs.
Yes.
Clean, organic, and local.
Good.
That means that fat is
delicious.
Yes. We're going to eat the fat today.
I love it.
And these apples here, from Berryville, Arkansas, A&A Orchard. They grow nectarines and peaches and I don't know how many kinds of apples, but they're amazing. But here we are in the middle of winter, fruit, vegetables, dairy, protein. So right here with these 6 ingredients, we're going to make an elevated, definitely Southern style. I know we like that.
Yes,
we're in the South, so we're going to do some Southern style food.
So was that bacon in a water bath? Was that in the
immersion circulator? Yes. So we put a 2-day brine, and then we smoked it for a couple hours, and then we put it in the circulator for about 30 hours.
Oh my goodness.
And now we're going to throw it in the cast iron skillet and cook it up.
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. Let's get on it.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Cooking food is a combination of passion and creativity. You use all of your senses, just like when you're eating the food. You can hear it when you're cooking it. You can see it, you can taste it, you can touch it, smell it. It's all involved. So I'm really thankful to be in a profession and have a business that get to be this creative. Not everybody gets to do that in their life.
So I'm looking forward to this. It's going to be really, really good, man.
All right,
What do you need first?
Let's get on this guy because it takes a minute.
Okay, and I'm going to get everything else right here so we can just go to town. Okay, so cut the ends off of that squash.
So they're very tough.
Yeah, yeah.
Very hard. So you can be careful when cutting these things, just like a sweet potato. Peelers work really well. You can get in here and get that skin off that way, you know. Depends on how sharp your peeler is if you want to do that. As you can see, that works pretty well. But I'm an old-fashioned, I just like the blade.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to cut it down the middle.
Good sharp knife is all you need.
But they are intense. So, and you can see inside here.
Oh yeah.
You got your little bit of seed pod.
Oh yeah. Beautiful local product.
Beautiful.
Look at that.
Smells good. A lot
Fresh
of people
as the
are,
Dickens.
you know, I think it's an ancient vegetable and to be using. A lot of people are intimidated by it because they just think pumpkin pie.
Yeah,
or they
yeah.
just think squash products.
Oh,
But
yeah.
ultimately, I've made latkes and we make purees out of them and cookies and pancakes. And so squash are very versatile.
So versatile,
Ancient
man.
Indians
Oh, yes.
were using them.
Oh yeah, and it's one of those things that's growing in gardens that people sometimes they grow it to use as just a gourd,
Yeah,
you
right.
know, but it's really good food,
Yeah.
and something that's really inexpensive too.
Very.
They grow very easily,
Especially in the Ozarks.
Not a lot of work to them. You know, we had them growing out of the compost pile at my garden over at Country Club I used to work at, and they were the best squash. I mean, they were some of the best, man, growing out of the compost pile.
Well, how'd they get there?
Yeah,
exactly.
exactly right.
Pretty,
exactly right.
Can't stop them. Yeah.
No.
And you think about, you know, bang for the buck for a family. This is a lot of meat.
Lots.
You're getting a lot of food.
Absolutely
out of this
right.
Thing. It
Absolutely
grows
right.
very simple. So what we'll do is basically making this butternut squash puree is as simple as making a sweet potato puree.
Yeah.
We just need to get it down into small cube sizes. So when it's boiling, it's releasing some of the starch, and,
Yeah.
we'll puree well. So that size, the chop size, you know, it just needs to be little 1-inch cubes.
Looks great.
And then we'll put it in some boiling water. You could put it in the circulator. You could roast them. Any way you need to get them to be soft.
Soft, yeah. So
Basically,
you
just
can
turning this
puree.
up.
Yeah.
And the flavor is held so well inside this, you can't boil the flavor out. They're just like, they're always going to be good. They're not that great raw, but they're okay.
Yeah. And then what about that kale? What are we going to do with that kale?
So the kale, another one. When I started cooking in restaurants, the restaurant I was working at was using kale as what?
Garnish.
A garnish.
Yeah.
Stuck on the side of a
Yeah,
plate.
absolutely.
And it's like, what a waste of this thing.
Absolutely.
People weren't eating it at all.
Buffets, they stick it on on platters and stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, and then throw it away at the end.
It's just delicious.
Yeah.
And it's extremely popular right now, and it should be.
So
It grows. You can keep picking it throughout the season. It grows almost year round.
so good for
So
you
good.
too, man.
And
Superfood.
it's
That's
super
a superfood, you
And
know.
the flavor is great.
Yes.
Especially with some pork belly. So versatile. The way I like it is if we're going to braise it or make skillet greens out of it, we want it to have some size.
Yeah.
So instead of chopping it down or putting a small chefing on it, I just like to go through and break off big old chunks.
Yeah. So easy.
Nothing. Just like Grandma was doing.
Yeah.
back there.
Not a lot of work. Yeah. Yeah.
And you want those big because it's gonna saute and braise down. It's gonna get smaller and smaller and smaller as it wilts and cooks down, like collards, like mustard greens,
yeah.
like chard would
yeah.
do.
Any other green you
So
get. Yeah.
start with them being big. I mean, and you just can't screw this up. You just big old chunks of leaves. When it hits that skillet and hits that bacon fat or that vinaigrette or whatever you want to do, it's got some body and it won't shrink down and wilt away.
Delicious. So we ready to get on the stove?
Let's do it.
All right. Let's work.
And I'm still a student of the game. I hope always to be. It's really nice to get to watch one of the chefs that are in town that are doing really good food, to watch them make a great dish. The pork is local, man, the bacon local, all the ingredients, everything was local. Salt and pepper is probably the only thing that wasn't grown right here, procured right here locally, but you can't go wrong with great kale that you can drive out to the farm and see. Same thing with the pork, the squash, just a really beautiful dish. I always learn something when I work with one of these guys.
So we got 4 burners going on the stove top right now. What's going on here?
Okay, well, we're getting these pans hot so that they're ready to go. We don't ever want to throw anything into a cold pan.
Yeah,
Just
one's
put
for
it on
the cast iron going to be for the bacon.
This is going to be the skillet greens, so we'll do the lardons there with the bacon and the
Yep.
pork belly,
Okay.
and then we'll braise the kale nice and hot and real fast.
Yeah, yeah.
We don't want it to wilt down and get mushy.
Yeah.
And this skillet here will be for the pork chop. In the backside, we've got some pork jus that we've made from pork bones. And this will just be just a finishing sauce, just to give it some moisture on the plate. And then back here, we've got our butternut squash puree. And it's just that butternut squash, a little salt and pepper.
Yeah.
And then when we're about ready to plate, we'll fold in that local Fromage Blanc.
Okay.
And then we'll serve it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Let's go to it.
Let's go to it.
Go to it.
So really want to start off with the pork belly. We got our skillet nice and hot. You know, this is just thick bacon.
Yeah. Awesome.
Doesn't really need much seasoning.
Look at that fat come out all of that. I mean, it's like instantly.
High heat. It is, you know, it's a lot of fat, but like we talked about, it's good, it's clean, it's local.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get that. And this is what bacon is.
Yeah.
Bacon is pork belly.
Yeah,
Just
absolutely.
treated and sliced real thin.
Yes.
Us doing it, we control the size, we control the treatment, we control everything about it. And buying it local, we can control that as well. So look at the fat just coming right out. It's gonna get a little bit crispy. We want it to tighten up. And all that fat is what we're going to use to be our braising liquid, to be our searing of it. So it is a one-pot dish. It just takes a second.
Yeah, the rendering, when you're using a bacon like that, that's such good fat. I mean, it happens so quickly. Look, we have the pan is almost covered with liquid now.
Yeah,
so beautiful.
We haven't done anything. So while this is searing up here, all these little crispies on the bottom of the pan, it's going to be that fond that we want. And you can see they're just tightening up.
We call it love in our world.
That's right.
Call that love. Chef Brooks calls that love.
I'm going to keep the jus just reducing and getting warm and thicker. And this pan is plenty hot.
So with all this going on.
Yeah, 4 pans going. You just want to keep your eye on it all.
Yeah.
I like to fire it all at once and get busy, right?
Yeah.
You just got to make sure you're not burning anything. And watch your heat.
Yes.
It's control. Never be intimidated by turning something down. Let it go low and slow. It's better than burning.
A lot easier than burning it, man.
That's right.
We can heat it up. You know, it's just like adding too much salt. You can't take it out.
And we're gonna share some of this over here into the skillet.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, for the pork chop.
So you can see that it's getting a little crispies in here. We'll get some fat down the pan. Let that just go low and slow. Now that we've got it to its place.
Yeah, and the oil's already hot, so fire that guy up.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a sear on this pork chop. Give it a little salt and pepper.
Nice seasoning. People are so scared, man, and you got to season your food, and you may think you're overdoing it, but you're not. That looks great.
You're definitely not.
That looks great.
Yeah.
I see smoke.
Here we go.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful. And again, with local pork, it's good fat, so it's going to render as it cooks, and it'll sear up really nice and quick in that pan.
Yeah. So we're going to sear it, and by searing it, we're going to lock in all the moisture.
Yes.
Lock it in. This has been brined, so it's already got a lot of moisture infused, and then we're going to throw it through the wood-fired oven just to give it a little bit of, give it that kiss of extra mild, right?
Love
so
it.
Do that.
That's
so here we got, these guys are getting real close. All right, so now we got this nice and hot here. We're going to get some kale. We'll make sure our temperature again is correct. We got that fat and that pork belly in there. Hear that?
Yeah, that crackle.
That's what you want to have happen.
That's what you want, yes.
We're going to give it just a little bit of salt. Nothing too fancy.
Nice little pepper on there.
Pepper.
Cracked black pepper.
Good. Checking our things again. Back to here while this is just cooking. It's just fine for a second. Back to our pork chop and just give it a good look. Oh yeah.
Man, that looks dynamite.
That's great, huh? And we're gonna put a little bit of butter in here. Just for while it's searing up, it's gonna suck in some of that butter.
Yeah, add some richness to it. Yeah. Butter is always good.
Butter is great.
Butter and bacon fat, man, you cannot go wrong with those.
So, we got some nice cracking on this. See these little burnt edges we're getting?
Yeah, and that green, that color, man, of that beautiful kale, it goes from like a light green to this dark, rich green.
And there it is.
It's done. It's like.
And we're gonna give it, because we're in the South and we like apple cider vinegar, we're gonna give it just this little touch, right?
Yeah.
Just a little touch. Also gonna help us get all that crispy bacon off the bottom. And now it's technically a braising. It's got some liquid in there.
Liquid in it, yeah. Looks great.
We're gonna let this just rest for a second on low. Make sure our stuff's right. This is good. Let's go throw this in the oven. We're about ready to eat.
Awesome, let's do it. And that oven is beautiful, man, centuries old technology. We've been using fire to cook our food since the very beginning. Man, I love the wood-fired oven, the stone. It's a cylinder too, so it turns, oh, I'm sorry, goes this way. Really cool. You can manage the temperature twice, right? Gas and wood.
Gas and wood.
And the speed of the rotation you can manage. So
speed, radiant heated, yes, it's a beauty.
Really a cool deal.
It is. You know, most of the time it's pumping out pizzas.
Yeah.
Today it's gonna do some pork chop.
Let's get that in there.
All right, so we just came off the stove here. We're gonna put it in cast iron. Send it through. Right now it's sitting at 800 degrees. You don't want to stay in there too long. You take long.
Man.
It's just gonna finish it off, kiss it with a little bit of that wood smoke.
Yeah.
And just elevate it.
Beautiful. That's a great way to do a dish like that.
Yeah, not everybody
Really
has
nice.
this in their house.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
But we do today. So
Hey, we're
yeah.
showing off what you do
That's
anyway.
right.
So,
Sure.
you know, it's not about that. So
not
that's
at all.
good. Look
Good.
at that baby. And there it
Just
comes.
coming around. Give it a couple turns and we'll be ready to plate this stuff and eat. We're grateful to be able to have this in-house to do all kinds of things, roasting vegetables to roasting fruit, making sauces, finishing pizzas, desserts. It does it all.
Yeah.
Breads.
Yeah, I started out at a pizza place, well, not a pizza place, but a gourmet grocery store doing pizzas. And I built my fire in the back of the oven and had to turn my pizzas, and I could only do like 2 at a time.
Sure.
So it was a lot more difficult. This is the way to go right here. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's go eat. I'm excited because everything's out of the oven and ready to go. Show me how to plate it.
Okay.
Show me the finished product.
The finished product.
Because we got to do some stuff.
We got one last step.
Okay.
So we're gonna fold in a little bit of this butternut squash puree here. It's warm and straight off the stove. And why you want to do this last is if we added this cheese while it's on the stove, it could break, it could coagulate, it could just get weird in the pan.
Yeah.
So we don't do that. It's warm, it's not going to cool it down. So we got a little bit of cheese here. I'm just going to add just enough of that to kick it up.
Tablespoon or so.
Good tablespoon. It's going to add a lot of richness and color and cream to it.
Smells so good.
It's going to add a nice little color to it. And you want to do this last.
Right before we go on the plate.
Right before we're going to plate.
Okay.
So.
Okay, looks great.
Looks great.
Let's see what we got.
You get a healthy dose here on the plate.
Okay, on the edge of the plate.
Keep it up high. This is fun, the restaurant swoosh.
Oh yeah.
But I just kind of like this all-encompassing smear on the plate here.
Yeah.
Spread it out a little bit.
I like to clean my plate with all that.
Oh yeah.
You know.
It all has to come together.
Oh yeah.
So, skillet, nice crispy edges on there,
Beautiful.
starting to brown out a little.
So beautiful, man.
So put it. Make sure we get some of that.
Gotta get some of that crackling bacon
Some of
on
the crackling bacon on there. Oh yes.
there. Yes, indeed.
Lordy, lordy.
That's beautiful.
We'll pick up our pork chop. Straight out of the oven. It's almost a T-bone cut. So good already. So our garnish, these little pickled apples. You see they keep their color.
Yeah, it looks
on
great. Yeah, let me have that.
Get on that. So it adds a little acidity and brightness. I'm just gonna drop these dudes all over the place.
Delicious.
Because why not? Then we got our hot jus. And again, this is just a bone broth stock. And just gonna give this little bit of moisture here in the end. Bleeds all over the plate.
That's great. Oh my goodness.
Here we go, Chef.
I cannot wait to get in on that.
I can tell.
Man, we're gonna sit down and talk a little bit. We're gonna talk a lot about farm to table stuff. Is Clayton gonna join us?
Yep.
Is Clayton gonna be in here?
He sure will.
Okay, good. Let's go eat.
Let's do it.
Okay. This is mine. Oh. You can find all our recipes on our blog, cookwithbrooks.com.
So my name's Clayton Suttle. I've been in Fayetteville since '98. Jerrmy and I, my business partner, Jerrmy Gawthrop that is, we met at a party during a horseshoe tournament. And my team and his team got to the finals, and they beat us.
Clayton, thanks for sitting down with me, man. Appreciate it. Everything good?
Good to see you again.
Good to see you too.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you got to sit down with me and eat this fine meal.
Definitely.
Yeah, we let Chef cook and then we'll eat. I love that.
Well, that doesn't happen too often, but I'll take it.
And you know, you guys are pioneers in this area, Northwest Arkansas, with farm to table and being local. Y'all started the local movement. And why is it so important to you?
Well, you know, there are lots of reasons. I guess it started off just personal choices of Jerrmy and I both. You know, wanted to support local farmers when we were shopping for our homes, as well as just offer healthier choices for ourselves and our family, as well as we feel it just tastes better. And so we kind of carried that into our business practice. You know, there wasn't really a monetary motivation of any kind or much of a business choice. It's just how we did things at home. It was just personal preference, so we carried that into our business.
And at Greenhouse, I mean, you guys try real hard to be, you know, as local as you can. I mean, not every item you can have. I mean, nobody can do that.
No.
But you know, you have to stick with the logical and what's possible. And you guys are, I mean, you source a lot of things locally: the pork, the produce, all kinds of things. Does that carry over in the pizza side as well?
It does. Yeah, it does.
Okay.
So we source a few different cheeses, our greens, a lot of our porks, different proteins actually, eggs. So as much as we can.
That's great. It's really, really good. I'm looking forward to trying this.
Yeah, it looks great.
The squash is what I was really excited about, the puree. How delicious is that, huh?
It's really good. You can taste the smoke coming through on the pork.
Man, that puree has got a little love on it. And the bacon fat, the belly, that he diced up and added to the greens really gives it some saltiness.
It does. It almost comes across the kale and the greens and the kale and the pork belly and the pickled apple. Almost tastes like collard greens with some vinegar on it.
Yeah, it really does.
Kind of takes that profile.
It really does. Great dish. You're lucky to have that guy in your kitchen, you know.
Oh, he's great. He definitely likes, he keeps us going, pushing the boundaries culinarily. You often may come in and find me in overalls or in my Carhartt jacket, and I've been out in the garden all day, and I know customers look at me funny when I walk in and walk behind the bar and get a drink or do whatever. They probably don't think I'm the owner of the restaurant, but that's okay. Often though, when they find out that I am one of the owners, but I'm also in the garden, they respect that and appreciate it. And so it's just things that we're passionate about: sustainability, the local food scene, gardening, offering the best product that we can. I kind of work on infrastructure and systems and you know, different management practices.
It's a good partnership. That's nothing
really
wrong
good.
with that. It's what you do, man. It's a good partnership. Thanks, Clayton.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you letting us be in your restaurant. And
anytime.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Real good. So Clayton and Jerrmy did a great job. So proud to get to show off their great restaurants, man. Talk about food. We love sitting down and just talking about good food, making a great dish. Beautiful pork chop with a nice puree of squash, really good kale. So much fun to get to sit down and share a great meal, some great conversation with really great people. Man, that's how you cook this. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and our blog, cookwithbrooks.com.